Hi everyone, it's Cyril again. Today, we have a very great topic that I want us to cover that's dear to my heart. There's a great thinker who said, if you live for people acceptance and validation, you will die from their rejection. So today we'll be talking about rejection and self-rejection. What does being rejected means? Being rejected means being refused or being denied something, no matter if we deserve it or not. Who else should talk about rejection than me? I've been rejected a lot of times in my life. I grew up without a father, right? The first rejection was from birth, right? As soon as I came out, I was already rejected. That old man didn't want to see me. He didn't care about me and everything. But and it had consequences, right? I grew up in elementary school. I was already bullied. I was abused by family members. And when I went to high school, I became a bully because I created that defense mechanism. You know, so um, and then growing up, I started seeing, you know, what the consequences of my journey of rejections were. And I had to like go back in my mind to, untie all those issues that was going in there. And I'm not going to tell you it was an easy journey. It was a really, really tough journey. And I'm so grateful that today I'm have the ability to be healed and share my story of healing with you all out there. So rejection is not something nice. It's not something nice. Most people crack under rejection. Some people give up after being rejected. Most people don't understand why they're rejected, you know. And today I'm here to remind you that most of the time we can't take rejection because we've not built that mental power that I talk about all the time, right? The power of the mind. If you're not confident enough and if you're not self-aware, if you don't love yourself much, rejection is going to crush you. Rejection is going to be a sentence, not a lesson. But you've built yourself enough and you love yourself enough to understand that, guess what? I may be rejected, but it's not the end of the world. Rejection is going to be a lesson. And rejection is a redirection. Rejection should be a redirection. Rejection should be a wow. Okay, maybe I wasn't doing the right thing. I'm correcting this journey right now. So um you want to be able to look at rejection as, what's the lesson to be learning this? You know, what did I do wrong? Because some people, you get prepared, you go into this interview, you're ready, you have a great resume, you have a great experience, you put in the work, right? And then you get rejected. Sometimes they tell us we're overqualified. And you look at it like, wow, I didn't know being overqualified was something wrong, you know? And it plays on your mind because now you're going out of that interview and you're asking yourself, wow, what did I do wrong? What should I do to get a job? What should I do to start this business? How should I do to get this business credit or to start this LLC? I don't know. I'm always, anytime I open the door closes in my face. I'm always rejected. How could I do to get this girl that I love? I love her, but she doesn't care about me. How should I do to get married to this guy that I love? He doesn't really see me. I do everything to be there and he doesn't see me. Rejection is on a lot of different forms. And you look at yourself and you're like, man, am I cursed? What did I do to always deserve rejection? Then it start playing with your mind, and then you start looking at yourself like you are a loser, like you really can't win. You can't win, and you're always blaming yourself because most people that get rejected don't look at the fault on the other side; they look at the fault in them, bringing us back to the ability to self-love, to love yourself so much that you don't look at the fault in you first, but you look at the fault in the situation. because when you love yourself, you're confident that, you know what, I'm going to go to this interview, and if I don't crush it, if I don't get accepted, if I don't get accepted in the job, it's not because it's not because I don't have the ability to do the job. It's just because those people didn't see the power in me. They didn't see the worth in me, right? So sometimes you have to tell yourself, rejection is not about me. That person that rejected me didn't reject me because I'm bad. They rejected me because they didn't have the ability to see the greatness in me. Always tell yourself that. And for you to get to that point where you look at yourself like, you know what, I'm going to brush this rejection away and learn from it. You have to be able to love yourself. You have to be able to be confident enough to be at that place where the power of the mind, your mind is powerful enough to look at yourself like the best part of the biggest, the most important part of the puzzle. All right. Rejection doesn't mean you aren't good. I say it again. Rejection means the other person failed to notice what you have to offer. So if you're in a relationship and you and that person let you down, guess what? They didn't let you down because you were not good. They let you down because they failed to see the greatness in you. It's up to you now to say, you know what, I'm not going to spend 10 years crying over this relationship. I'm going to gather myself, I'm going to build myself, and then I'm going to be ready for the next best relationship. Not because I want to prove anything to that person, but because I want to prove to myself that I wasn't the problem in the first place. I wasn't the problem, So rejection is not a sentence. Rejection is a lesson. Rejection should not be a sentence. Rejection should be a lesson, And now there's so much external factor that will make you want to crack under rejection. There's so much external faction the external faction that will make you feel like you're not good enough. That's why you were rejected. But I have news for you today. The more you build your mind, the more you remind yourself that you are the most important part of your puzzle, the more you tell yourself that you are great, the more you tell yourself that your calling is bigger than your struggle, and you didn't get here by mistake. You got here because your calling is great. The more you tell yourself that the sky is not the limit and you're going to go through this journey, focusing on the goal while enjoying the journey, the more you tell yourself that no one's word is going to validate who you are, but you are going to validate who you are. The more you affirm to yourself every morning when you wake up, the more you look at yourself like an important person, rejection is not going to crush you. Rejection is going to build you. Rejection should not crush you. Rejection should build you. But it comes from the inside. Again, it comes from the inside. You can't give what you don't have. So for you to be able to take that rejection and say, okay, thank you for the no, I'm going to work harder to get a yes tomorrow, you have to be able to be confident and say, I am not the issue. If you're watching this video, tell yourself, I am not the issue. I am not the issue. The issue is not me. Stop blaming yourself for the things you're not responsible for. You're not responsible for being rejected. If you're being rejected, it's because people don't have the ability to see the worth in you. And who is going to give them that ability? You. Because at the end of the day, it's not the amount of prayer and fasting, of the amount of money you give out there to the church, it's not the amount of great pastors or prophet that you have out there. It's not the amount of nothing that you're doing. It's the amount of reminding yourself that you are great. It's the amount of you looking into your struggles and your journeys and saying, I went through these struggles for a reason. My father abandoned me, us, and my sisters and brother, but guess what? He missed a lot because I'm a cool person. Every father will pay to have a son like me, right? So now I'm not yet cry, oh my God, I want to, no. I used to do that. I used to cry. I used to ask myself, what did I do for him to live? But now I see everything that he's missing. He's missing his grandchildren. He's missing my ability to be great. He's missing everything. He's missing my movies. He's missing my motivational speeches. He's missing my book that's coming out. All those things he would have been taking the glory. He would have been, oh, that's my son. I'm proud of him. But guess what? He's not here. He doesn't even know what I'm doing. All right. So I'm not the issue. So my rejection is not because it's not by my fault. I'm not the issue. I'm not taking responsibility. I'm never going to take responsibility. I'm an advocate, not a victim. So with that, when you understand how rejection works on an outside level, then it's easy for you to understand why people self-reject. It's easy for you to understand why people don't take compliment. It's easy for you to understand why it's difficult for some people not to say, I love you to themselves. It's difficult for some people not to look at themselves and say, wow, you're beautiful, you're handsome. That's rejection. That's self-rejection. It's time for you to build your mind and your mental strength enough for you to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, wow, Cyril, you're handsome. Wow, I love the shirt you're wearing today. Oh my God, you know how to blame yourself. You know, speak good about yourself. Compliment yourself. Don't expect people to compliment you. Because if the compliment from the people don't come, guess what? You're miserable. You live for people validation, you will die from their rejection. So if you can't tell yourself you love you, then no one can tell you they love you, you're going to die. You're going to die mentally, you're going to die physically. Because then those compliments that people need to go by their day, you will not have it. But guess what? I don't need anyone to compliment me. For those that know me very well. I compliment myself. I compliment myself, and I'm building the mind of my children and telling them, guess what? Self-validation, self-love, self-awareness is the key to success, is the key to the best life. Rejection is not going to affect you. You know why? Because your mind is big, is strong enough to understand that you are the best part of the puzzle, the most important piece of the puzzle. If you're out of there, that puzzle is not working. So, rejection and self-rejection, it's not good, but you have the ability to build yourself so that rejection doesn't affect you the way it's affecting other people. Everything that you go through is a lesson because your calling is greater than your struggle. So be able to remind yourself that you are not the reason why you are rejected. Be able, please, to remind yourself that if you were rejected, it's because the person didn't have the ability to see your worth and your greatness. Anytime you do that, rejection will be a lesson and not a sentence. If you enjoyed this video, please share it and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Cyril Njiken, The Power of the Mind. Thank you. Hope to see you soon. Bye.